Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn N Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Bowl for Life. I'm repping their merch today. I got a new hoodie in the mail. It is very soft. If you want to go get one, go to bowlforlife.com. Just throwing that out there early on in the show.
Justin, the salesman. Look at him go.
Yeah, always got to promote. Always got.
You have to promote. We have to promote the good word. How are you, Justin?
I'm pretty good. Before we get started, I do want to give a quick shout out to some birthdays that we have.
Oh, the birthday boy.
Yeah. Well, not mine, but it's
not
my
mine
birthday. So happy birthday, Dad.
What is he, 50, 56?
I don't know. 30? I don't know. 80? 57.
I don't know. Maybe Derek can tell us. Derek seems to be his number one fan. Derek can tell us stage.
Yeah, so
Derek, time to the chat how old Parker is. But happy birthday to Parker. We're going to have some fun with Parker's birthday later on in the show tonight.
Yeah, so also Mark Gold works at Howell Lanes.
That is right. It is Strike the Gold's birthday, too.
And Jane Marie Swavely, if you are watching, happy birthday to you as well.
Her, too?
The photo girl, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
July 13th is a popular day.
Oh, yeah. So I wanted to give a quick birthday shout out to all three of those people.
Yeah, she is fantastic. She is a wonderful human being.
Yes, she is. So before we get into our guest today, there has been some news from the PBA.
Yep.
That the PBA 50 World Series of Bowling is postponed.
No brainer.
Which my dad was even questioning it, even with the quarantine rule. I mean, he had no idea what he was going to do because he would have to go down there and come back and quarantine for 2 weeks. So it was really like, why would I go do that? Why would I go do that just to bowl? So
exactly. It was kind of like a no-brainer. I mean, especially once the numbers started spiking down in Florida, you better be safe than sorry.
Oh, yeah. And the PBA Tour Finals is this weekend on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have times, but I did see that, and I did want to throw that out there as well.
Yep. And then there's another $10,000 event this weekend.
Yes.
In the Midwest, I believe, right?
Columbus, and our guest is bowling.
Yes, he is. What else happened in the bowling world this week? I feel like we're missing something else.
It's Monday. It's early.
It's not our normal day.
No, it's not. And also our show on Thursday at 5 o'clock will be with Kelly Kulick.
That's a good spot right there, Justin.
So we are excited to have Kelly in, another local and another Team USA member.
Yep.
Our neck of the woods. Kelly Kulick will be on with us on Thursday at 5. So without any further ado, are we going to have a Mike Val introduction?
I mean, I don't know how to introduce this one. I mean, local guy. He's a very handsome guy. He is. I don't really know too much. You know him better than I do, so why don't you take the introduction tonight? I'm going to put the ball in your court tonight.
Okay. This is going to be Matt. Yeah. I won't mess anything up. I promise. So I know he went to Weber International, won the team title, I believe, twice. And he's just a really good bowler. He's multiple Team USA member, got 4 gold medals down at PabCon. He went, or the Pan Am Games. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry again. He swept every event he bowled, and it was absolutely insane to watch. The Team USA Trials champion this year and a Team USA member. Let's welcome from a guy who literally grew up 5 minutes from my house now, Matt Russo.
Hey, Matt.
How's it going, Mike?
Hi, buddy. See, he says hello to me before you, Justin.
Hey, we chatted before you showed up 3 minutes before we started. So I
was enjoying an ice pop on my front porch tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, that works.
Yeah, I had a very rough weekend, all right?
I can understand. I mean, it took you 10 minutes to get into the show. Justin and I talked all about our week, know, about his dad's birthday, about him almost doing the show at my house.
Ooh.
It's we've had a day.
You're the backup studio for Justin. Your house is the backup studio.
They use our Wi-Fi. They sleep there.
Yeah.
It's great though. It's great. I really love all that kind of stuff and the relationship that they've all created. that our family and their family have created over the past number of years has been incredible. And, they're basically like, I'd say brothers to us because, we're just so close and I really enjoy spending time with them.
Yeah, awesome. I just want to add one thing though.
Oh boy.
The relationship evolved after you went to school because they just got sick and tired of the plates and forks and napkins all matching.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, after I left, it was like I didn't exist anymore, Mike, and they all, would have their parties and do all their stuff, and then they would like FaceTime me or do all me and be like, "Hey, we wish you were here, but not really, have a good time." So,
what's this whole napkin, utensil, fork deal? I've heard bits and pieces of it.
So multiple times, Matt's come to our house like the day or two before Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
And Mom will put out plastic plates, napkins, forks, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And one time, and like all of them match almost all the time. And the one night they didn't match. And Matt was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous. They don't match." And just made such a big deal about the forks, the napkins, and the utensils and the plates just not matching. And it's been an ongoing joke ever since.
All right.
See, like I like when everything matches. Like
absolutely
I like coordination. So like, if I've got I've got a white logo on my shirt, so I put white shoes on today, just when I went out. So I've got like beige shorts on, which kind of goes with the purple. I mean, you can wear beige.
Absolutely. It's a neutral color. Exactly.
Correct. So like, if I'm going to go somewhere or, something's going to happen and if it don't match, I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not the best thing. Not that I don't mind it, but like, it just like struck me. Like I was so surprised because every year we were doing these matching colors or colors that work together. And then like the next year we had like happy birthday napkins with like Christmas plates and like Thanksgiving cups. And I'm like, what is this, the Four Seasons here? Like I didn't get it.
That's very anti-Bohn like.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, look, Justin's even matching with his background.
Yes.
It just was off par. And I just didn't expect it.
See, I got the match. We got the matching wall. Justin, I'm actually working on my office finally.
Okay.
So the office should be done probably by the end of the month, hopefully.
Okay.
So we'll be taking the show up to the office. So I'll have matching stuff on the walls for moving forward.
Okay.
So I won't be in my kitchen. I won't be in the kitchen doing the show anymore.
And we won't be seeing your dogs behind you.
We will not be seeing the dogs behind me anymore. But they do match. I mean, yeah. So we're making progress here, buddy.
As Jackie gets
everybody. So what did you do this weekend, Justin?
What did I do this weekend?
So I missed the conversation. What did you do this weekend, Justin?
So I actually went out with Matt's brother, Tom. He had an engagement session. For those of you who don't know, he's a wedding photographer, does engagement sessions. I know he did one for Matt not too long ago. But anyway, he took me out to Long Beach Island, and that's actually the first time that I've been there. And wow, is it a nice place.
So you're 5 minutes from my house in Long Beach Island, and you never even thought of like giving me a call to say, "Hey, I'm right around the corner."
I didn't really know where you lived.
That's just a slap in the face, Matt. That really is.
The South Jersey area, especially by the beach, is just not my geography whatsoever.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. So,
oh God,
as we've been talking so far, and I mentioned I had the ice pop and whatnot. Your father has been texting me, making fun of me, saying I had a skinny pop for dessert tonight, right? So let me tell you what I did yesterday.
Okay.
And I'm going to wait for the Parker Bohn text message, which he's going to have a field day with this one.
Okay.
I went canoeing yesterday for the first time in my life.
I saw that.
I can only imagine what's like stirring up in his head right now, what he's going to say.
So we went canoeing somewhere down like exit 52 on the Parkway, somewhere like towards Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 7 of us, and we were all on the canoe. We were having a good old time. And I was with our friend Paulina. She's like an expert canoeer. Like she knew what she was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. Never done it before. So we were probably about 1,000, maybe 1,500 feet from our like finish line, right? My canoe tipped over. Can you see the bruise?
Not a boy, Mike.
And so I was the one. I tipped over the canoe. One of the girls that was with us, they had $100 pair of flip-flops in our canoe, gone. The girl I was with, her shoes, gone. Backpacks in the canoe, soaking wet. Completely ruined the entire day. Then it gets better. That was from a tree that I was trying to hold on to. I ripped my bathing suit while I was going overboard. So when I got out of the canoe and got to shore, I lost my trunks in the water. I pulled them up, and then I got caught on something, and I tore my bathing suit. So I'm standing waiting for the bus to bring back to the parking lot, and you can see my rear end clear as day. So I had a lovely Sunday. And so Parker's have a field day with that one. He's stirring the pot right now. So that was my Sunday, guys. And as Parker says, moon over New Jersey. That's the Parker text message.
All right. So before we get into anything Super Bowling related with you tonight, tell us about your new show that you're doing.
Yes, please.
I want to hear all about it. Now's the time. Plug it.
Yeah. So it kind of started as just a thought in my head. I had thought of a way to reach out to college bowling recruits and programs, and I thought it was something that wasn't happening. And it's something I wanted to be a part of. And I had reached out to the crew at Bowl TV, since they are people that I am close with. And I just really enjoy doing live streaming and commentating and just kind of getting the word out there in the bowling industry. And when I was first on your show for the trivia, I was like, man, this is really cool. Like, just be able to broadcast a show for a night or once a week and talk to some people was something that I really enjoyed. So I had thought of it really quick. It was within like a week from the date that I launched the first show. A week before that, I already had things going. And it's really just about introducing the programs to all these up-and-coming bowlers who don't know much about them. I mean, I feel like a lot of bowlers are not so into researching about the programs as they are, I've seen them on TV or they've won these tournaments. I want to go there. So I think it's just kind of a more to sit down and get kind of personal with the coaches and talk to them about their program, their history of bowling, how they grew up, what got them involved in coaching, and then just kind of go through their program. And I think the first show was a really big success. I was really happy with it. I had Sean Wagner on from the University of Whitewater. And this week on Thursday, I have Andy Dirts from Mount Mercy. So that'll be fun. I'm excited for that. But yeah, it's just it was something that came up really quick and something that has turned out to be really good. So we'll see how it turns out. I'm excited to see where it can go, and potentially during the collegiate season, bring on some players and some tournament highlights and that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to see what I can do with it moving forward.
That's really good. So where can we find it? And how do you stream it? How can we watch it?
So you can find it on Facebook. It is At the Tot Bowling podcast, I believe is what it's called. I can look it up real quick. I have like an ad to it because nobody could find the page. But I do go live on Facebook. I shoot for Wednesday nights, but unfortunately this Wednesday I can't. So I'm going live on Thursday. But you can find the Facebook page. It's At the Tot Bowling Show. Is the Facebook page. And yeah, that's where I don't go to YouTube. I don't have a YouTube channel, but it is all strictly Facebook Live. So that's where I'll be streaming to.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
So everybody go check out the talk on Facebook, and let's get Matt Russo underway here.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good platform. It's something that nobody has.
Yeah.
Correct. And that's something that I kind of was waiting to, because I had a feeling that people were going to start going live when all of this quarantine happened. And I think it's a really good idea. Like, I really think you guys have gotten the great grasp of what's happening. And I think Stu and Barnes are doing the same thing. And those, I feel like, are the two main shows that people watch. And I think they're very different in a way, which is fantastic. So I kind of felt like there was another aspect that wasn't caught on or wasn't hit. And I wanted to do it before other people maybe had the idea. And I feel like now that I've got some of the viewership and some plans moving forward, I think it'll be a nice thing going on. So I really appreciate you guys, bringing it up and talking about it. And I know Justin has helped a little bit with some of this StreamYard stuff. I messed around with it a little bit, and it was, now that I know exactly what I need to do, it'll be nice to be able to kind of create a little better production on Thursday.
We've made it, Justin.
Yeah,
we've made it.
That's huge. He's doing a lot of great stuff as well.
Yeah.
And obviously he's got millions and millions of followers across the world. And, I don't look for it being, 100 people to watch it. Like I told Justin before the show, I said, if I've got 9 people watching it or 90 people watching it, I know that I'm putting in the effort. And I think it's something in my head that works really well, and people can watch it after I'm done. So I think as long as I feel like it's getting across the right way and I'm enjoying it and the coaches are involved in it, that's what matters the most.
You're giving back in another area, and that's all that matters.
Correct. I mean, college bowling was so big for me, and it's a huge experience. It's a completely different experience than bowling a youth league or bowling team tournaments. There's so much that goes into it, and I think that's the part that people don't realize, that each program does it so differently. So to be able to talk about that and get that out there with whatever the coaches want to say is something that I think will benefit them for sure.
Absolutely. And college bowling is so much different than it was when I went to college 20 years ago from when you were in there a couple of years ago. It's night and day different, but the environment never changes. And just that whole setting is it's unbelievable. You can never like duplicate that setting in any kind of bowling tournament ever.
No, and I mean, I thought about not bowling senior year, just as a decision that maybe it wasn't the best for me to bowl my senior year. And I'm glad that I did. Obviously, it worked out so well. But it wasn't even about that. It was just I knew I was going to miss traveling with my roommates and my closest friends, and then bowling on the weekends and just going to the head-to-head match play, and just all of that stuff is such a unique experience. And, to be able to do that for 4 years it was incredible. And Justin, as you move forward and get to college, I hope that you soak as much of it in as you can. It really does go by quick. And before I knew it, I was 4 years and done. So I really, hope that you pick the program that you want and that you enjoy it and take as much out of it as you put into it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm learning that the 4 years goes by a lot quicker than I had imagined just with high school, considering the fact that I'm going to be a senior next year is mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, I wish the high school was a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more like the experience in college, but I don't think you can duplicate that. Like you said, you can't just create an environment and say, okay, we're just going to create the, Hoosier environment where they're ridiculously hard. And then you go right into match play. You just can't create that. So I think that's why where the most experience you get is living it through your 4 years in college.
Yeah, and you're on the bus every weekend. You're in a hotel every weekend. Mm-hmm. And it's Friday travel, bowl Saturday, Baker all day Sunday.
And then you get an off day Monday potentially, and then you're right back to practice. So
exactly.
It's nonstop bowling. And I firmly believe if you love the sport of bowling and you love the game and you love your game as a bowler, you're the right fit for college bowling. And there's programs out there for you. But if you're maybe the opposite, there's also programs out there for you, like the club programs or maybe a little bit less serious programs. So I think that's where college bowling and bowling in college in general is so wide in terms of what you can choose.
Isn't Rutgers is a club program, right? I'm just thinking of the Jersey stuff. Rutgers is a club program. They don't have a team, right? They have a team now?
I don't know.
I know like St. John's in New York is a club, but they bowl the sectional stuff. There's a lot of club programs out there, like University of Whitewater is a club. They're a club school, and William Patterson, I believe, is club. There's so many good teams out there, great teams out there that are club sports in bowling, and I think that's where it may benefit some others than maybe the NCAA schools, which on the men's side it doesn't really matter, but as more of the higher class programs.
Yeah. So Matt, I'm just going to jump right into it, Justin. What made you go down to Weber? Did you have any other options on the table, or you were just set on going down to Weber?
I did. I was supposed to go to McKendree, actually. That's where I always wanted to go. I came for a visit. I loved it. It was everything that I wanted to do. And then I went to visit Weber, and it was a tough call, but I made the decision to go to Weber, and it's something that I won't ever forget. It was an incredible experience for 4 years. I got to train at the training center, learn from great coaches, and I really am grateful that I learned so much out of my 4 years. And now I'm here in Illinois, and I happen to live, 10 minutes from the coaches at McKendree, Brian and Shannon O'Keefe, and they're people who I'm close with. So I feel like, that they welcomed me into their family was awesome, an awesome honor. And, I've always felt like I was part of, the Bearcat family because I was close with a couple of the guys on the team. So, I looked at a couple schools, but ultimately it came down to a decision, and that's where I ended up.
Good stuff. Interesting.
So, Mike, you skipped one of my questions, so I'm going to go back to it.
Yeah, no, I know. We were just kind of in there. I figured we just kind of roll with the flow,
We were on the college realm, so we had to bring that up.
Yeah, we had to just go with the flow,
Yeah, so what happened before college? Obviously, you bowled 10 minutes down the road from me at Howell Lane. So what happened before college, and how did you basically get to end up – well, obviously we know how you ended up at Weber, but how did you end up to where you were ending high school as a senior?
So I didn't bowl in high school, actually. I didn't have a team. I bowled singles for 3 years, but we didn't have a team. So when I was in high school, freshman year, I really was just bowling, junior leagues and practicing as much as I could. And then I had actually got approached by my superintendent. And for somehow it got across the line that I was a bowler and I was looking to bowl in high school. And I had gotten called into his office, which, I mean, as a sophomore in high school, to get called into your superintendent's office, it's like, oh, what did I do? I was never a troubled kid or anything. I never tried to get in trouble. And he said, here, I hear you're a bowler. I've actually got somebody else in the school that, wants to try and bowl. And he's like, I'll be the coach.
Where'd you go to school, Matt? Where'd you go to high school?
Allentown, New Jersey. Millstone doesn't have a high school. We had built a big middle school that I always thought could be the high school, but we just ended up going to Allentown. And so the two towns met together. But, yeah, he was like, I'll be the coach. Just tell me what I got to do. I was like, well, all you got to do is just kind of show up, and the athletic director would enter us into the singles events. And, I ended up winning the Manchester singles a couple of times. And I think I won sectionals one year as a singles. I made the states. I finished second. I finished top 5 a couple of times. It was a really cool experience. And I had gotten really close with my superintendent because of that. And he was so involved in the sport of bowling. He was just soaking it in and learning. And he didn't know very much, but he was so into it. It was like making me happy that he was just, a guy in his late 60s who had so many successful kids in sports. And he wanted to just go out there and, help me and help the other person. And that meant so much. And still to this day, I've had contact with him. I've, went to his office when I got back from Weber, and, we had conversations, and it was just awesome of what he did when I was in high school. So that really kind of opened me up to a little bit more recruiting, I'd say, other than junior gold. I stopped bowling junior gold in 2015, I believe, in Buffalo, whenever the last year Buffalo was. So I really had no other exposure to collegiate coaches other than high school, I guess. And that's kind of when the social media thing, I guess, kind of got a little bit bigger with, live streaming and stuff. And before I knew it, I, ended up at Weber.
And then he also dominated the local King of the Hills down here once he got out of high school. It was the Matt Russo / Finnegan's Open every week down here.
That was a good 2-year stretch, I think. It was around there. I really, really enjoyed bowling those events. I don't know, like I always looked for them every Sunday. I mean, Walter and Casey, they ran fantastic events. And, I mean, we were getting 90 on a Sunday night. I remember I wouldn't get home till like 1 in the morning and then have to get up 5:30 for school on Monday. But to me, I didn't care. I mean, bowling to me is something I'll sacrifice anything for. Those events were sick. I mean, I remember bowling O'Grady and all the great local guys, that we had. And that's where I feel like I got a lot of experience from in that type of setting was, bowling these big name guys that I always looked up to as a bowler. And when I was younger and being able to beat them or come close or whatever, it was definitely a big confidence booster. And I just kept riding the wave.
Yeah, man. It's a shame we don't have that stuff anymore. I mean, everybody's so egotistical when it comes to like lane patterns, and 20 people show up if they're walled and 10 show up if they're hard. It's, 10 years ago, we had, like you said, 90 guys on a Sunday. I mean, that was just fantastic. Nobody cared about what was on the lanes. It was just the competition.
Exactly. I mean, I remember the first 2 that they ran at Finnegan's, it was on house and they drew a ton of people, and then we voted for it to be on some sport patterns, and we were like, well, I hope we get the same amount, and we even got more. And I think it's just because of who ran it and how they did it and what was going on with it. And like you said, nobody really cared what we bowled on. It was the fact that it was just really good head-to-head bowling that happened. And it was a spectrum that so many people could be around. And I mean, you saw the same people every single month, or and then they started doing ones at Carolier, and then we had some at Howell that Chris Mantilla ran, and those were great as well. But I mean, the ones like Casey and Walter ran, I think were the best of the best when it comes to the people that were bowling and the amount that we had.
Yeah, and we need those things now to bring back bowling. The local centers, and we plug it all the time at the end of our show. The local centers need us, the bowlers, to go help them out.
Yeah,
I mean, growing up at Howell Lanes with Justin and Parker, and I mean they're family to me, and the fact that they had to close down now that they're reopening, I wish I could go back home and just be there for a month or so and support that center, regardless of what I got to do. Like, that's where I grew up. That's where I learned.
Yeah, your roots are there. That's what you're saying.
Correct. I mean, that's it. I mean, they've known me since I was 4 or 5 years old there. So, and I feel for Neil and his wife and Mark and his family, and they've all got families as well. So, just giving back to the local center that you grew up in or you support is something huge right now in the world. It's crazy that last year we weren't like this, and now this year we are, and there's a lot more that goes into it that needs to happen.
How are the centers in Illinois? Like, I've heard Chicago. I know you don't really know Chicago. I heard like Chicago's going backwards, basically. Like, they're not opening centers up there. You're by St. Clair Bowl, right?
Yeah, so I actually haven't gone to St. Clair yet. Since they opened, I haven't been there yet. Missouri opened way before Illinois did, so I ended up bowling some tournaments up in the St. Louis area, and those centers were fine. I mean, they still had the capacity rule, and they were doing the best that they can in terms of tournaments. And then I actually was fortunate enough to go practice on an Air Force base over here. So, and that was the same thing. I mean, they're open now, and they're doing everything they can to be open and follow the protocols and everything. But I haven't stepped in St. Clair yet, but I have heard they're trying, and I hope that they stay open. I hope all the bowling centers stay open, because I'd hate to see this kind of destroy the bowling world. And I feel like we're doing everything that we can to keep it level and to keep it going. And I think that's what needs to happen over the next 6 months.
Yeah, it's it definitely is a struggle for them. And if you are wanting to go bowling, go support them, no matter what it is, because they need it the most right now.
And absolutely, any independently owned center needs it the most.
Oh yeah,
and not saying the Boleros don't, but the independent guys you should be going to first before you go to the big corporate centers.
Oh yeah,
public service announcement, guys.
Next question, Mike, shall we?
Go ahead, Justin.
All right, so you obviously had a lot of success at Weber, and then a lot of success with Team USA. You've won a ITC title, not once but twice, and also won the team trials and the amateur title. So lots of success with both. What is your favorite memory from either college with ITCs or Team USA with all the success at trials specifically?
I've got a couple. I mean, I always feel like there's a story behind all of the 4 events that you named that I've won. Like I'd start with this year at team trials. I mean, obviously I was getting ready to bowl the tour, and my thought was, do I want to bowl team trials as a PBA member, or do I want to bowl trials as an amateur and try and win the amateur title again? And right before I had to decide, I was like, you know what? I'm going to bowl as a member, a PBA member. I wanted to get guaranteed into some events on the tour, so I bowled as a PBA member. And when we first got there, I saw the patterns, and I was like, well, this is either going to go really good, or it's going to be a good amount of work, because they weren't easy. And the first pattern, which we bowled on, was Beijing, the new Beijing, which is the hardest one, I think, out there, was the pattern that kind of did me in the year before that, where I missed the team. And I just went in with a whole new game plan and ended up leading the day, which was fantastic. But team trials is my favorite tournament to bowl. Not only the format, but the patterns they put out, the caliber of players. And you got to be in it every day. You can't really have those 2 or 3 mediocre days and then have those 2 great days, because you never know. And I just love the tournament. But yeah, I think my favorite memory was of this year's team trials was not only getting engaged, but both of us making Team USA, and then on top of that, winning in front of my family, who wasn't even going to be there, but they were only there because I was getting engaged. So it kind of came all full circle for me. Like my life outside of bowling with somebody who I truly love, and the sport of bowling that I truly love, and all the work that I put into it had came full circle and come together. So for all that to happen was just an incredible week. I mean, arguably it's the best week of my life. And that's something that I tell anybody who asks me, how do you predict what's going to happen? And you really can't, because you don't know. Like I was confident that she was going to say yes, but if that day the Vikings don't win and then I don't bowl well and she don't bowl well, like what happens that night? So there's a lot of stuff that had to go right, and luckily it all did, and it was an incredible week. And then at ITCs the past year in 2019, I guess one of my favorite things was we had done the same way the year before that, where we got eliminated that next morning on the day before the show. We bowled William Penn, and we were down the same thing. We were down 0-3, and they eliminated us that year before that. And then this past year, we were fortunate. We came back and beat them, and then just ran into the show. And obviously winning. I mean, winning is one of the best memories you can hold, because it was with a couple of guys who I had went to school with from the beginning, and it was a team that we were building for the last couple of years. And I wouldn't have asked for a better senior year, because we had worked a good amount together to just stay in it. And we had one guy go to the hospital, and then we had lost and got sent to the losers bracket. So just a lot of stuff went our way after that. And just to have my family there, and, to be in front of kind of a hometown, because one of our guys was from Ohio. So that was pretty cool. And we were outnumbered with the crowd. I mean, the team that we both had probably close to 100 and some people, and we had like 30. So definitely the crowd was on the other side, but it was really fun. It was really enjoyable. But I mean, I could sit here and talk about memories the whole time. But those probably the two times that I've won. And of course, in Brazil, I mean, that was a week of my life. And it was one of the hardest weeks of my life, with my grandfather passing the day before I left. And I was like, I don't know if I want to go, or they were going to send me home. But I knew that he would have wanted me there, and it worked out to be incredible. And I don't know if you're going to talk about that, Justin, but I mean, that's probably hands down my favorite, most memorable week ever, besides team trials this year, would be the week in Brazil.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane to watch. It was like one day, oh, Matt won singles. Oh yeah, way to go. Next day, Matt won doubles. Oh yeah, way to go. Matt won the next event. Wait, really? Won the next day. Wait. Like the whole week? Like he won like every day? Yeah, he did.
That's called running them over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I really didn't have any expectation going into that week. I mean, it was just an honor for me to go out there and bowl for Team USA. And the talent was pretty good for what I thought. I mean, it wasn't that they were easy. And we bowled on London. And, London can get pretty walled up, and they can get pretty easy. And we bowled enough games to where if the right blew open, they were going to strike 8 out of 10 times of what I felt like. But I had gotten lined up pretty quick, and I threw one ball. Well, I basically threw one ball the whole week.
I bet it was the same color as your shirt, wasn't it?
Yeah. I threw a SmackDown actually.
Okay.
I had drilled it like 4 days before I left, and I knew that ball was really good for me, and I knew what we were bowling on. So I was like, I think this ball's going to match up really well. And I had tested a couple balls at Kedal, and that one seemed to be one of the better ones. And every other ball didn't look very good. So I was kind of one ball only, and I also threw an Eruption Pro a little bit. But other than that, I threw a SmackDown the whole time, and it rolled incredible, and I bowled fantastic. And I mean, I remember after we got done bowling singles, I bowled 279 the last game to kind of stay in the lead, or I think I was maybe behind or whatever. But I had texted my mom and said, hey, I won gold, and they hadn't seen the standings yet. They were waiting for them to update. She was like, no way, no, you didn't, and I was like, yeah, I'm serious. Like, I just won gold. And then they saw the standings update, and, they were freaking out and everything. So it was just really cool. It was a really, really fun event.
I have a question, Justin. May I have the floor for a sec?
Sure.
So and I'm going back to team trials like years ago. It's like when you won team trials, you're the national amateur champion. You won the national amateur championship, right? So you win it. You're not the national amateur champion. You are the team trials champion. Or has it changed through the years?
Yeah, so if you win the amateur title, you only win amateur, like U.S. amateur. If you win the team trials, you're the team trials champion. So the amateur gets an automatic spot on Team USA. Mm-hmm. And then if you're eligible for junior, you'd obviously get the junior spot as well. And then if you win team trials, you go to the World Cup and you get an automatic spot on Team USA.
So you're not. So if you win team trials, you are not the national amateur champion then.
No, you have to win the amateur side. That's why I was contemplating on.
That's where you were. Gotcha.
Correct.
So there's like two separate titles basically you can win there.
Yes.
So
interesting.
You can win both though if you're an amateur, right?
You can win both. Yes. I don't think it's ever been done before.
Right.
The closest one was John Janowitz in 2019. He won trials and then he bowled in the amateur stepladder. Didn't win. But that was the closest I've seen to somebody winning both.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's a good player.
For anybody ever seen John Janowitz bowl, I was lucky enough to get to know him over 4 years and pick his brain a lot.
Okay.
I mean, this guy is the most knowledgeable I've ever met in terms of technical lane play, like designing patterns and ball choice. Like, I mean, I would just sit there and talk to him for hours, and he knew the answer to everything.
He's like a mad scientist, basically.
Yeah, I mean, basically he's the mad scientist of bowling.
You ever bowl the 20 grander down in Florida, Matt, when you were down there? Yeah.
Yeah, I bowled the first year they had it, and then I bowled. I think the second year it was like 10. It was like 10K, I think, or something like that. But I did bowl the 2 times. My last 2 years, I believe I bowled.
Yeah, they were really. I went down there a couple of years. They were really tough. I mean, they were on one of those Zelinsky patterns, what they call them.
Zelinsky? Yes.
Zelinsky, yeah. They're like near impossible. They're just filthy. Yeah. And we were bowling at Kendra Gaines's place. I can't think of the name of the center. Not Boardwalk. It was Kendra and John Gaines run the center. I can't think of it, but it's right around the corner from Boardwalk. It's around the corner.
Yeah, it was the big. You walk in, it's the 2-sided, the big center. Yeah, it was Boardwalk.
Okay, maybe it was Boardwalk. And we bowled 7, 9, and 11. Janowitz walked in for the 11 o'clock squad, and nobody in the building from 7 to 9 o'clock bowled over 620. Nobody. Janowitz walked in for 11 o'clock, 3 games, 778, balls back in his bag, and walked away. They were filthy, dirty, impossible. John bowled 778, bags packed, goodbye, gone. Like it was nothing. It was unbelievable to watch this.
It's insane what goes through his head on like how he plays patterns.
Yeah.
The ball choices that he makes, like we'll be like like watching him bowl at team trials, we'll be in the 5th game on like 42 feet and he's throwing a no rules shiny, like a big ASIM, and he's outstriking half the field. And I'm like, how do you think of that? And that's something that I picked up on, like maybe I should try that. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you've got to notice things like that. And that's just something that his brain has noticed, just designing patterns and how they break down. And it's incredible sometimes to watch what he does.
Justin, we need to get him on and talk to him. He'd be a great spot to talk to.
We might know a guy or two that could make that happen.
We know people. We know people.
Yeah.
Yes, if you want to get to know somebody who not many people, I think, know about because he's so much more behind the scenes now, John Janowitz is, I think he's the best amateur in the world.
We had said that, Justin.
Yeah.
Regardless of of what he's bowling right now or his career is right now, hands down, he's the best amateur in the world.
Matt, we had said this maybe a couple months before COVID. We had a show, and we said who are the 2 best non-professional bowlers in the world. And we both agreed that, or in the country rather, I'm sorry. And Janowitz was our pick. Like hands down was Janowitz.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's a no-brainer. And not a lot of people know him, but my God, he is a player. So, Justin, we have to work on that.
Yeah, we will. Mike, I think you got the next question.
Yeah, so now you're going to go on tour. Obviously, the title is the goal. So when does Matt Russo think he's going to the winner's circle?
You know, it's funny. If you would have asked me this question before the tour started, I would have told you a couple years. But now that I've kind of sniffed almost making a show, I would like to think in the next either if not the 2021 season, potentially 2022. And only because I just feel like when it's there, you have to hit it.
Yeah.
And I mean the left side of the lane. And I think because I was behind by so many, I was behind like 390 something pins going into the last 8 games, and I was in the show with by 25 with position round to go. So I think I know that I can get there. It's just now, when is it your time?
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I think it is. Like, yeah, it was just not meant for me to make the show. Honestly, like if it was meant for me to make the show, I wouldn't have bowled 150 the last game. And not that I didn't hit the pocket, it's just I didn't feel like I bowled that great. And I think there was so many other things that I was thinking about other than what I was doing the last 7 games. But when it's my time, I think I'm going to win. I'd love to win, obviously, the next time I bowl out on the tour. But I think when it's your time, you'll know. And I think that's how it's happened over the last couple of years. And with my career is it was my time to win at team trials this past year. It was my time to win a college title. So I think when it's your time, you're going to know. And I can't wait to get back in that situation of getting to bowl to get to bowl on TV or to bowl a position round match to make, to stay on TV or make TV. That was something that was incredible. And, the fact that Parker was there and stood there and watched me and just kind of helped me just relax a little bit. That meant everything, because he is somebody I've looked up to since I was a young kid, and I've watched him live out his dreams, and now he's there watching me live out mine. So I just think it's something that's really, really cool, and I would love to do it at a home center in New Jersey. That would be the ultimate goal, I think. But I'd be okay with making and winning in it was Indy.
Woodland.
That would be okay. Ooh. There's a lot of history there.
There is a lot of history there, and that's Matt. We ask a lot of people the favorite, least favorite center to bowl out on tour, and Woodland Bowl is the favorite answer is the least favorite center to bowl at.
Yeah, I just think I matched up really well there. Not only were the patterns really good, I thought they were pretty fair. I matched up really well. And when you match up really well at a center, no matter what they put out, it's somewhere you like to bowl. So I think I've got enough taste of it so far in my rookie season. And I would have liked to bowl a little bit better throughout the whole season. But to come close to a show out of my first year, I couldn't have asked for a better year. I guess I could, but I've learned so much. And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking to how much can I learn and how much success can I have at the same time. I'm not looking to go out there to win 10 titles. I'm not looking to go out there to bowl 300 every week, or even, you want to make every cut. But if you missed a cut, what did you learn and how can you take it moving forward?
Exactly. And that's like that with life in general. So take a negative or take a bad experience and turn into a positive the next time you go out there.
You can't make every cut. Nobody's Jason Belmonte other than Jason Belmonte. And Chris Prather is having 2 incredible years, and he's figured it out. And not many people know that his story was he was ready. He's like, I'm going to give it a couple years on tour. And the year that he won the playoffs was his last year that he may have not done it anymore. And he won the Scorpion title, then he won the playoffs, now he's won the TOC, and it's just all working out well. And I think when it's your time, it's your time.
Good stuff, Justin.
Oh yeah, he's it turned into a few years down the road to a lot quicker, and that's what we like to hear, and that's definitely what we want to see for sure.
Yeah.
So, and we almost considered making that drive if you did end up making the show.
Yeah, I wasn't even focused on the amount of pins I was behind. I would have liked to have 30 more pins because the first game of the second round of match play, I bowled Sean Maldonado and I had the front 8. And I ended up splitting in the 9th, and then I could have doubled in the 10th to beat him. And I think I ranked 7 or solid 8 or something, and I lost 30 pins. And to just have 55 instead of 25, it's a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
Jason Belmonte and EJ Tackett behind me. I really didn't know what to expect, and it's my first time in that position. And I just bowled 300. So obviously I'm averaging 250 over the last couple of games. I'm like, this is going to be a good pair. And I didn't bowl very well, but I was fortunate enough to hit the pocket so many times. But I know next time in that situation, I would do things just a little different.
Learning experience, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly what it was. So, Mike, I think we're ready for the 10 frames of questions.
You ready for it?
Yeah, let's
right.
go right into it. Let's have some fun with this.
Well, the number 10, we know what we're gonna do.
Yep.
We're gonna have some fun with the last one.
Yes.
All right. So Matt, it's 10. Well, actually 9 tonight. 9 tonight, right, Justin? Say 9.
Like 9.
9.5. 9.5. All right. So let's go with the first one. So what's the one thing you can do to take your mind completely off of this sport that we're all obsessed with?
Definitely either watch television or I really just like to design things on my laptop. I know that may sound weird to some people, but like I like to make graphics and, just sit on my laptop and I don't know. I just really enjoy like making graphics.
Did you go to school for graphic design? Is that what you went to school for?
I did not. I went to school for hospitality and tourism, and I have a business degree as well.
Okay.
But I just enjoy making graphics. Like I make my own graphics for my own page.
Mhm.
I make graphics sometimes for other people. Something I really enjoy doing, and I've been self-taught, and maybe it's not interesting to other people, but I know Justin can relate to it. So that's something that I really enjoy, and it takes my mind off of bowling because sometimes you get so involved in thinking about the past and how you could have changed it. So that's really what I do to take my mind off of it and watching television and those are the two biggest things really. And even spending time with family. And now that I'm in Illinois with my fiance and we've got 2 cats, so just enjoying the time that I get with my family.
Good stuff there. I didn't know that design. All right, I like that one, Justin. That's a good answer. All right, so let's go to 2. What is one thing you love and hate about being from Jersey?
The one thing that I hate is that people think we say it's Taylor ham, but we say pork roll.
Yeah, it's pork roll.
Yeah, so I've gotten into a few arguments with people that it's pork roll and not Taylor ham. So when I went to Florida, they didn't call it pork roll, and I was super pissed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I do love about being from Jersey is that you don't meet many people from Jersey.
That is, yeah.
Like,
that's a good point, yeah.
I didn't know anybody who was from Jersey. Like when I came to Illinois, I don't know anybody who's from Jersey. So I think that's what I love about the most. Like it's your own kind of thing. Like especially living in Millstone or Jackson, right? 2 small towns that people are like, "Oh, where are you from?" I'm like, where Six Flags Great Adventures? They're like, "Yeah, I think so." I'm like, "Yeah, I live right there." Because I ain't gonna say Millstone or Jackson because nobody's gonna know what I'm talking about. Right. So yeah, those would be my 2 best answers for that question.
All right, I like that, Justin. That's a good one there. All right, ready for number 3?
Yeah.
All right. So, besides Parker, who was the bowler that you idolized growing up?
Johnny Petraglia. And a lot of it is because my grandma, she used to watch Johnny bowl on TV. So when I had first started to see him around, she was like, "Oh, look, that's Johnny Petraglia." And then she always wanted to meet him. So that was kind of where I was like, "Oh, I probably could get to know this guy." And then I realized he was left-handed, and he just did something totally different than most left-handers. He moved right and slow hooked it, and I was like, "Ooh, maybe I can do that." And that's where I kind of learned how to do that, just watching him. But yeah, I mean, I can't go away from 2 hometown heroes.
No,
those are the 2 I was exposed to the most. So yeah, that Johnny Petraglia.
All right, we love Johnny, Justin. We haven't talked to Johnny yet.
We'll make that happen too.
Yeah, we can make that happen on our own.
It's absolutely amazing when you look at what's come out of Howell Lanes and is to come out of Howell Lanes. When you think about it, like it's Johnny Petraglia, Parker Bohn, now Matt Russo, and then me and my brother behind him.
But John Fury, you forget about Fury.
Him too. I mean, when you look at the amount of players that come out of Howell that know how to bowl, I think it's absolutely insane.
In our neighborhood or our counties, there's a lot of good players that came out.
Oh yeah.
Now that you mentioned, like you say, John Fury, like he's somebody who I've created a great relationship with when we were on tour because he's somebody who drilled my bowling balls for the longest time. And still, like, he's actually drilling a couple balls for me probably tomorrow that my parents are bringing down for me. But just to have a relationship like that where I can not only support him, but his business as well. He's somebody that I always picked his brain with bowling balls, layouts.
Mhm.
You know, how does my game look? You know, and he was kind of the first person to kind of discuss the two-handed bowling with when I was growing up. So yeah, I mean, if you're talking about somebody when I was younger, definitely Johnny Petraglia, and then as I got older, you know, I kind of John and I had developed a great relationship, and we still do to this day.
Mhm.
Yes.
Good answer.
You said something about your family to bring out bowling balls tomorrow, right? That John. Yeah, they're right here.
Hey! What's up?
How's it going?
It's going
going.
good.
Hey,
So,
Tom, how are you?
I have a question for you, Matt.
Yeah.
What is your favorite meal that I cook for you?
My favorite meal would be chicken cordon bleu, and because I don't eat the chicken.
Tell them what you eat.
It's just the noodles and the chicken broth with the cheese. Like I can sit there and have a whole pot full of noodles and chicken cordon bleu, but without it.
I thought you would say that.
I'm speechless.
So chicken cordon bleu, Mike, but no chicken, just the noodles.
So it's just the cordon bleu.
Yeah, I guess so.
And that was my next question anyway, Justin, was the meal question.
Like I can't even make it myself because I know I'm gonna screw it up.
Well, of course.
Well, we could have it Thursday night if you'd like.
Yeah, that might have to be it. You know, there's a couple things that I miss about New Jersey, Mike, and it's definitely like the family cooked meals.
Oh yeah.
You just can't go wrong with a home cooked meal.
Can I give a story, Matt, about one of my college experiences, and it involves a meal? So I went to Morehead State. Okay. So
you know Mike Kahn?
Who?
You know Mike Kahn?
Mike Kahn. No, I don't.
Okay, he went to Morehead State too, but
no, I do not know him. So we bowled at Beaver Creek Bowl in Ohio, and one of the girls' name was Lindsay Coolis, and she was a Team USA girl, and she lived in Dayton, Ohio. So we bowled at Beaver Creek Bowl in Ohio every year. So her family would host us for dinner every year when we went to Dayton. So I went to school with Johnny Jr., Dave O'Sullivan. So there were a bunch of guys from here. So we grew up in Jersey. We know what like real Italian food is, right? Yep. So we're going there, and Lindsay tells us, she goes, my mom and dad are making chicken parm for dinner Saturday night after bowling. All right. So on this trip, we bowled. Johnny's father was driving through Ohio to go to a tour stop. He stopped to watch us bowl. He dropped off some stuff. He comes to dinner with us. Chicken parm, right, guys? Chicken parm.
Yeah.
Yep.
We go to her house, and the chicken parm were frozen chicken patties, like you get like a Costco, with American cheese melted on top of it, and jarred sauce poured on top of it.
Oh no!
So me and Johnny and Johnny's dad, we kind of looked at each other. We're like, "What do we do?" So John's dad's the first on the line to go get food, and he just gets a big thing of salad. And so June and I did the same thing, and she's like, "Well, how was the meal?" "Oh, it was excellent. Thank you so much for hosting us. It was great. Thank you." But Dayton, Ohio, chicken parm was a frozen chicken patty, American cheese, and just covered in sauce. Not even, I didn't know what you want to call it. But.
See, Mike, when I was in college, we used to go bowl sectionals over at 30 Strike.
Okay.
So my parents would come down, and the one year they brought chicken Vesuvio, chicken with roasted red peppers, mozzarella. Mm-hmm. And we had that every season. So, like, when I tried to make that down at school, or I tried to go somewhere that would have that, it tasted awful. So that was what I would look forward to when I would go bowl sectionals. I'd be like, man, we're getting, Italian sandwiches for lunch.
Yeah.
And that's something that the whole team looked forward to. So the Italian food in New Jersey is unmatched to anywhere else.
Anywhere in the Northeast, New York, Philadelphia, it's you can't find that anywhere else.
Anywhere in the world. I'm like, I can't even find a good Italian restaurant here in Illinois.
Well, yeah. So Justin, so since we're on the food topic, don't I have a question about? So number 7. Can I go to number 7, Justin?
Go ahead.
Federici's or Pianelda's, Matt? Better pizza.
Oh.
Okay, so Mike, don't X out of the broadcast. Don't never talk to me again. But I've never had Pianelda's.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's understandable, but you're not really near Pianelda's.
It's fine.
Yeah. So I would say Federici's.
Federici's is better anyway.
You know, Matt, Brandon says you don't need Pete and Elders if you have Federici's.
That is true.
Yeah, like Mike, I think the salad at Federici's is much better because they put the meat
Yeah.
in there. And I think that the linguine and clam sauce is incredible. Their pizza is incredible because they have the thin pizza. So I would go with Federici's.
All right. Well, hey, that's understandable. I mean, you're a local guy. You've never been to Pinellas. I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm frozen again, Justin, so I'm watching it off the phone so I can see facial reactions.
Okay, so we've got other members at the Russo house. That's the Russo house. We've got Mike. You can't see him. We've got Matt.
Oh, I see Brandon in there somehow.
Yeah, Brandon and Jerry.
God help us.
Another left-handed buffoon to come out of Howell Lanes.
Well, I didn't want to say that.
I had to.
It's all right.
Justin just died.
And Mike's gone.
He's probably going to dial back in.
Yeah, he's got it. So let me pull up what else he's got on his 10 frames of questions as he texted it to me. Normally we do it on the computer, so we got it.
Yeah. Do you have a question, Brandon?
Yeah. Any of you guys got a question?
Hey, it's the birthday boy.
The birthday boy.
Hey, what's up?
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
You're looking good for 25.
Hey, look, I've been cleaning up well for 1 or 2 more years.
I can tell.
That's for sure.
Do you have a question?
Yo, do I have a question? Why don't you kind of fill us in on this? It's time to turn adult.
Oh, God.
Well, okay. While you're on the air, okay, let's kind of go through what happened of why I went adult and only bowled junior adult for 3 years, actually.
Yeah, why don't you fill us in on that?
Yeah, so I was, Justin, I don't know if you know this gentleman, but I was bowling a tournament before the World. I went to go watch the World Series of Bowling because I bowled Team Masters.
Right.
I was with my grandfather, and a gentleman asked me, he was like, hey, why don't we bowl this doubles regional? I was like, sure. I'm still a youth, but I'll sign the waiver. So I bowled the singles, and then I bowled the doubles, and yeah, we ended up bowling really good. It was at the stadium. We qualified like 5th, 4th maybe, and we cashed. We bowled, we got knocked out, whatever, and yeah. So all of a sudden, the PBA director comes up. He's like, so are you still a youth bowler? I'm like, yeah, as far as I know. He's like, you aren't now. I'm like, not now. I'm like, I signed the waiver. He's like, well, that doesn't count for doubles. I'm like, so what do I have to do? He's like, well, you either have to, you don't bowl at USBC events for a year, or you just go adult right now, and we don't worry about it. And there I am. Now I'm an adult bowler and don't bowl junior bowl anymore. Hey, look, it was nice to have a bowl doubles tournament. It was great, but yeah, so I was no longer a youth bowler at the age of 16.
I'll tell you what, all you had to do was flip the switch. You decided to go.
Yeah. I mean, I probably carried you that time anyway, so it was fine.
You might have, but Matt, I can only say this. There's an old saying in bowling, there's no holding back. And at that moment in time, you certainly didn't. And just continue that for the next 30 years.
You're right. I will say, Justin, though, I learned a lot, like bowling that time, because I will fast forward to a PTQ in Columbus for the Players Championship. The first day I bowled 193. Okay, I had 8 strikes and 3 open frames, 7 pins, and a 247. And your dad's standing there. He's like, "Are you gonna make one?" I bowled 100. I literally had a fantastic look. Bowled 193, whatever. Next game, I bowled. I don't know. I probably bowled like 230, maybe. I didn't make 7 pin that game either. So it was great. And he's like, "Dude, come on! Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to shoot my spare here, or whatever." Game after that, I bowled 275 and made the super washout, but I can't make a 7 pin. I crushed him in the PTQ, but yeah, there I was, the last 30 minutes practice shooting 107 pins, and was thankful enough that maybe I missed 1 or 2 that week. But yeah, I was afraid your dad was going to go hit the reset button.
Wouldn't do that.
Because he's done that before to somebody else. So I didn't want it to happen to me.
No, but I think you learned how to make those things since then.
Yeah, I think so, Mike. You missed a great story of why I only bowled junior gold for 3 years.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah.
Hi, Parker.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Birthday,
How was
Parker.
your pop tonight? Thank
It
you.
was delicious. Thank you so much.
Good. So Matt's filling us all in. Well, Matt, I'm telling you this truthfully. Obviously, you've come a long way from where you were bowling junior leagues at Howell Lanes, but more importantly, you've become an incredible bowler up through thus far, and there are bigger and better things definitely down the road in your future. As long as you believe in yourself, sky is certainly the limit, and I see no reason why you will not step up onto that podium and collect many checks and trophies along the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that very much, especially coming from you. Like I said, when I send you a happy birthday text, you're basically like a second father to me, and I've always appreciated everything that you've done throughout my bowling career. And I actually posted a quote of yours that you had said to me last couple of days ago, and it's something that I've always kind of read, and it's something that I always look at because I know it's something that could really mean something to somebody like myself. So I really do appreciate everything that you continue to do and the relationship that we've created over the last couple of years.
Well, you're certainly welcome. For sure.
We just missed you helping to make the big move. We could have used your guidance and expertise.
Oh, yeah, that would have been really good. This is what I'm talking about. Like, I come to Illinois, I go to school, right? Like, all these crazy things happen. You know, now I live in Illinois, and it's like, oh, yeah, we're just going to get up and move. Like, have fun. And I'm like, well, I really love you there. But, you know, it's the FaceTime, hey, wish you were here, but have fun, you know? So it's
Matt, you
one
could
of those.
Matt, you could have been supervising with Sydney, waking up at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, supervising with her, telling
could have been the pizza delivery
guy with Justin.
Goes to pick up pizza 4 out of the 5 days that we are delivering the house. But
Well, Matt, you could have been the one to drive the truck that would have delivered all their furniture.
Or Jeremy.
We'll continue that on another show.
Yeah, you know, I feel like I should have owned a U-Haul business, maybe.
You should have.
I could have helped you out.
Happy birthday, Parker.
So,
All right.
Justin, why don't you do the final one?
The final one?
Yeah, since we got the birthday boy on the screen, so why don't you do the final one?
Okay, so we're going to do something a little different for the last one. Because it is my dad's birthday, Matt, we are going to play a video of your favorite TV show from the guy sitting right below me.
Is it the TV show that I'm in the audience for?
That's up to you.
Yeah.
Your favorite memory of that going on TV.
Okay, let's see what it is.
What is it?
What is it? We're asking you.
What's my favorite memory of your dad boy on TV?
Yes.
Obviously, the PBA World Championship.
All right. So,
Yeah,
all right.
I mean, that's got to be the sickest run in match play I've ever seen. I was there for that. And then probably the greatest step ladder climb ever. You know, and then when you ask Belmo says he should have lost regardless. At least that's what he told me. So I don't know if that's because we're close, Parker, or because he truly believes that. But yeah, that's got to be my all-time favorite.
that he was there. Yeah. Was that before or after he made you go adult?
That was you know, that was the week actually, I think.
No, it wasn't because I wasn't there.
So look right here and celebrates, does all those things. There's Matt.
Yeah, right next to him.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was on the
Clapping away.
You guys.
Yeah, I was super excited. I mean, Justin, you look like you're like 4 years old.
Probably was.
I think I remember this perfectly. Like after match 2, Matt was in the middle of the stands. And then after match 2, right after he beat Rhino, he came up right next to us and he was there the whole time.
Yeah, they moved me down. I think like Junior he was like, hey, come sit over here. I remember I was just my grandfather was standing off to the side. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to be right there. So yeah, that would be the answer to your question.
All right. And I want to say that was the week that you win a gold, wasn't it?
No.
I don't. I think you might have been like the year before, maybe the year after, potentially. Because my dad was there.
That makes sense.
I think it was the year after, Matt, because I was there and we were talking to Kelly and Dave and Kane about the rules on what.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All
There
right.
you go.
All right, Russo family and Bohn family and whoever else is at the Russo house. We will see you. Well, I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes.
And we'll see you sometime. But you got to watch picking on this guy Justin Bohn. That was during the time when he was the Gangnam Style champion.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah, Justin got like all this TV time because he was like running down the entryway or whatever, doing his little Gangnam Style dance, and he won the competition. I think they gave away a signed Parker Bohn ball, which he didn't need, but he wanted anyway. So
Nothing beats when the announcer calls Justin Brandon.
Yes.
So Lon McCarron actually came up back on the show and he said, Parker's son Brandon just won this contest. And I'm like, yeah, I won. Yeah, that was me.
And just to clarify it, Brandon, just like his father, has 2 left feet and can't dance a lick.
Gangnam Style and no style.
Brandon's got no style.
No style.
Sorry,
All right.
bud.
We will let you guys go, and we're going to wrap
All right.
up.
Take care, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, everybody. And that was a good spot right there.
And that was fun.
That was fun. And the text messages stopped when we brought them on camera.
I'm sure they did.
And they're not going to stop anytime soon.
No, they won't. No. Making fun of Mike Val just never ends from Parker Bohn or the Bohn family. Just never does.
No, I'm the butt of the joke.
Yeah, always got to hit the reset on you, Mike.
Always. It's just a 9. If you could circle the 9 on the scoreboard for the split, 9 split every time.
Yeah, it moves every time, right?
It's a moving target. It's a moving target. That's the best way to say it.
Yeah, so, Mike, we are all done, right?
Yes, we're all done. You have a party to go to.
Well, people's house. No, wait. They're not.
It's the same thing. So let's ask one more. I want to ask you a question, Justin.
Okay.
What do you get Parker for his birthday? I mean, you get him like socks, get him a tie. Like, what do you get him?
Anything. Don't let him fool you, Mike. He bought him 0, nothing.
Most likely, that's the answer. But I want to see what he should be.
Got him Chips Ahoy, Oreos, and a box of cereal. And actually being home. I think that was the most important part.
Well, now he will be home most likely through the end of the year now.
Well, yeah, hopefully not. But
yeah, but I mean, with the World Series being canceled.
Yeah. So every year since I want to say, like, it's been before we started Bowling Junior Gold. Every year, his birthday and mom and dad's anniversary, because their anniversary is tomorrow, was always at Junior Gold. Every like 2013 or 2012, we were in Indy. It was in Indy, and I remember his 50th birthday cake was like some mint chocolate chip cake we had in a brewery in Indianapolis, just in the lobby. So it's been every year in Junior Gold, in wherever, and this was the one year that I was actually at our kitchen table. So I think that was really neat, considering that he wasn't in a bowling center all day today.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So let's wrap it up.
Yep.
You have a party to go to, and Matt's probably going to go design something or make
I got some food to eat. I'm here at the O'Keefe household, actually. So I'm in their wonderful office that they let me borrow for the night. So that was awesome. Yeah, we spent some time here. You got to play with the dogs a little bit and have some food, and just hang out. I've got some stuff to prepare for my show on Thursday. Actually, our show's the same time, so I'm probably going to move it so we don't bombard with each other. Because you guys moved your show for me, so I'm going to move my show for you guys.
There's 2 people we've moved our shows for, Justin. One is Matt.
Yeah.
And the other is Tim Mack. So that's the level you're at, Matt. We move it for Timmy Mack and you.
Thank you. I tried to make it work tomorrow night. I didn't have
Listen, you're a big deal, man. People know who you are. You're a big deal. So we work for you. That's how we are here.
Well, I'm going to remember that, Justin, okay? I'm going to remember that.
All right.
Maybe we'll have to collab a show together and just make it like, the Bohn N Zano Zone talk, whatever. We can do that maybe.
We'll make something work. But
Yeah.
your fiance is tuning into the chat. Come eat.
Yep. Go eat.
Yeah, I'd probably get a cold burger now because we're having some good food tonight. But no, I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. This was awesome. I appreciate you guys getting my show out there, and I always support you guys and what you're doing, and I love to talk to people about this show, and I love the guests that you guys bring and the content that you're bringing. It's truly incredible, and I really appreciate you guys. So thank you.
Thanks, bud. Best of luck. We'll definitely spread the word with you. Absolutely. So best of luck with your stuff. Go eat. And we will talk to Matt Russo again in the near future, Justin.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this one up. Matt, go eat.
Yep, go eat.
We will see you sometime in the near future.
All right, thanks, guys. You guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
You got it, buddy. Take care.
Bye.
And there he goes, Justin.
Yep. So one more time, go to the Talk Facebook page where you can find his bowling podcast with college coaches, collegiate coaches, and go check out what he's doing. He's going to start something. I know it's going to be really, really good.
Yep. So once again, to recap, we will be having Kelly Kulik on Thursday night.
Yep. At 5 o'clock. So be sure.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Be sure to tune in on Thursday as we have another local come in with us.
And just a little teaser, Justin. We are working on a Hall of Famer for next Tuesday.
Okay.
It's a big Hall of Famer.
That's it.
Leave it.
That's it.
I mean, we don't want to give it away. It's a spot. It's a guest that is in the Mount Rushmore of bowling. We'll leave it like that.
Okay. All right.
And you know who it is.
I do.
You do you know who it is. So big stuff coming. But anyway, Justin, go celebrate Dad's birthday, and we will be back on Thursday at 5 with Kelly.
Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more from us, be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you always know when we go live. And for those of you who are interested in my bowling vlog, I just posted a new vlog yesterday on my YouTube channel.
That was a good one.
Please be sure to go and check that out as well. As for now, I'm Justin Bohn, my partner Mike Val, and we will see you guys on Thursday. This is the Bohn N Zano Zone, where we're always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. See you guys Thursday.